So yesterday we saw that we designed these two services, expense service and the expense manager. So I mean, any doubts regarding yesterday's session?
Uh, no doubts on that.
Okay.
Mm, yeah,
Okay. So I also shared the code repository yesterday. I mean, did you went through that? I mean, did you saw anything
yeah. I
there?
saw that you wrote the driver code as well.
Yeah, yeah. I did
I
write the.
yes. I have forked that repository now. I was
Okay.
just going to the code only on my local
Okay.
system.
Okay. So what do we do? I mean, shall we write the driver's code? I mean, shall we go through the driver's code, or I mean, shall we skip that? I mean, if you want, I mean, we can just go through the driver code, and that will take another 10 to 15 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see how we can come up
Okay.
with the driver code. That would be great learning also.
Okay. Sure. So yeah. So we'll just start with the driver code. So click class driver, and we'll simply have a main function inside it. We'll just static void main string args, and that's all. So before that, we also need to import in package services, and then import java also import models dot asterisks. Yeah. So these are the required stuffs. First, what we'll do is like we'll create an expense manager object. The expense manager is the class that will orchestrate all our uh, all the work actually around models and the expense service. So expense manager equals to new expense manager. So now what we'll do, we'll just create a few users. Expense manager. So expense manager has a few functionalities. One of them is add user. We'll add user, new user, user ID. Let's say we put u1, and then we put anything. Let's say we put husky, and then what we had email at gmail.com. Okay, and phone number 9876987698. Okay, that's all. We'll just replicate this, copy this, and let's say we created three users. The two, the three. Let's say one of them is Anas and another of them is Shiva. Okay, we created three users over here. Okay, and so all of them has the same phone numbers. Let's see, and so now we'll have to take the input scanner in equals to new scanner system dot in, and while, so we'll just take an infinite loop sort of till the user doesn't enter some wrong input. So our input will be like this. Let's say this is one of my input. You see over here. Let's say one of my
Mm.
input is uh, this, and the other one is, let's say we have two kinds of input. You see, show is there, and show with a user ID is also there. Okay, so what does this mean is, let's say this is my input. So the type of command type is expense over here. We have only two types of commands, either expense or either show. Okay, with
Mm.
expense, we'll expect that there are few more arguments in the command, and that basically pertains to, I mean, what users spend how much, and who are the people across which the amount will be split, and along with the expense type. And if it is show, Either it will be simple show or it will be show with a user ID. Only show will relate to the show balances for all the users. Okay, and this will be specific to a user ID. Okay, so what we'll do is like we'll first take the input. So let's say we took take the input on the command. So this is the command that we have, and in dot next line. So we take the whole line as an input, and then we just split the command. We split the command equals to command dot split with space. Okay,
Hmm.
so just did split the command. So what will happen after this line is there will be an array, and each of the array will contain one of the each individual pieces of the command. Okay, the
Okay.
zeroth index will contain expense, then the first index will contain u1, the second index will contain 1000, and so on. Okay, that will be there in this commands array string type. Okay, next we just fetch from this command array the command type. Okay, the command type is the first string of the this whole command is the command type. Okay, so what we'll do is command type equals to commands command 0. This is the command type. Now we'll switch the command type. Okay, switch command type. Okay, so we'll just add a switch case. One will be either show, and the other case will be of expense. Okay, these two cases will only be there. Okay, in case it is show, we'll check if the commands, this command that we have, if it is only show, the length will be only one. If it is show along with the user ID, the length will be two. So we'll check over here if commands dot length equals to one. One means we'll have to show the balances for all the users. Okay, so what we'll do, expense manager dot show balances. There was a function we wrote show balances which will show the balance for all the users. Else, we'll do expense manager dot show balance, and we'll pass the user ID. So that will be in commands one. Any doubts still here?
No, no.
So I mean this is for the show feature. I mean show command.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll add a break statement over here. That's all. Now we'll look for the expense part. So if expense is there, the first thing after this expense command is the paid by user. Okay,
Hmm.
so first we'll first do we take the paid by? Yeah, we'll just take a string paid by, and we'll just add it over here. Equals to, we'll just fetch it from the commands. It will be in commands one. Simple. Next, we will also need to take the amount, double type amount, that will be in command that will be 0, 1, 2. That will be in commands 2. Next we got the expense type, we have paid by, we have amount, we want the number of users. That will be in number of users equals to commands 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. That will be number 3. And after this, okay, we'll have to parse this since is an integer dot parse int. Okay, and this one is double, so this will be double dot parse double dot commands two. Okay, and now after this command 3 0 1 2 3, these are the number of users, split users. This will go and add, will be added as a splits, list of splits. And after this we have this expense type. The expense type will be the total number of users, that is 0 1 2 3 4 4 plus the total number of users. Okay, so here the expense type will be 0 1 2 3 4 commands 4 plus the whatever the number of users is there. That will be the index of the expense type. Okay, so we'll just quickly take string expense type also commands 4 plus number of users. So in this case, what will be the number of users is 4, and 4 plus number of users is 4 plus 4 8. It is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. That
8.
is equal. So equal is the yeah. If it would have been 3 users, let's say it would have been 3 users, it would have been 4 plus number of users, that is 4 plus 3 7. It would have been 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay,
Hmm.
so it would make sense. Okay, so back to our example, back to our code. We got the expense type. Now we need to fetch. We have fetched everything. Now we need to fetch the list. Sorry, list of splits. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll just create a list of split. We'll name it as splits equals to new array list of type split. Now we'll just switch the expense type. Switch expense type. Is the size proper or should I increase the size?
No, it is proper. It is visible.
Okay. So switch expense type. So we have three kinds of expense. First is equal. First is equal, and what we'll do in equal is for sorry for int I equals 0, I less than, we have to iterate the number of users time. The number of users is in number of this variable number of users. So I less than number of users I plus plus. Okay, so now it will be splits dot add new. Since it is equal, it will be equal split, and the values will be expense manager. This will be the user will be adding dot user map dot get expense manager a user map. From user map, what do we need to get? This particular user. Okay.
User ID.
Yeah,
We
so how
need.
will we get user ID? 4 0 1 2 3 4 4 plus whatever is the ith value. Okay, it will be commands 4 plus I. Okay, so ith value is 0, 4 plus 0 is 4. It will be 0 1 2 3 4. The first user is there. If I value is 1, 4 plus 1, it will be 5. 0 1 2 3 4 5. That will be the second user. Likewise, it will go. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this way, in the equal, so in the equal we only need to add the user. We don't need to add the percentage or the exact share. We don't need to add those. Okay, so we just added the user, and now we'll just create the expense, add the expense manager dot add expense. Expense type will be expense variable expense type. Expense type is an enum. Expense type dot equal expense type dot equal, and then it will be where is the expense manager. In the expense manager, what we have done? No, sorry, expense
Amount
manager,
will be
expense type, amount paid by splits and metadata. So, expense type, that is
amount.
amount will be over here, and then it will be paid by user. After that, it was splits, right?
Hmm.
Splits, and then we had one more thing. I added expense metadata also yesterday. So for that, let's just add null now. We don't have any metadata for the moment. Let's say,
Hmm.
okay, we added these, and after that, it's a break. That's all. That's all for equal case. Now let's write it for the exact case. Exact also things will be quite similar. I'll just copy this loop part from here. Okay, for and I equal to 0, I is the number of users, I plus plus. Splits dot add. It will be new exact split. It will be new exact split. After that, expense manager dot user map dot get user. This will be the user, and apart from user, we also need to add the amount. Okay, so let's say if it is not equal, let's say. So let's go over here. If, it is exact, right? Let's say we take this example. So over here it will be apart along with the user. We also need to add this amount for the this user two. Okay, so what it will be 4 0 1 2 3 4 plus how it will be 4 0 1 2 3 4. This one is plus 1 5. So
Number
this,
of users.
yeah, number of it's 4 plus number of users. If you do 4 plus number of users, it will give us this particular user. Along
Uh-huh.
with this, we need to add one for this one expense type, that is taking one space. Okay, that will
Hmm.
be 5 plus number of users plus I. It will be, so let's say we have 0th. I is currently 0. Let's say it is for pointing to U2. U2 has an expense of exact expense of 370. Okay, so I is 0. So let's say it will be 5 plus number of users plus I. So I is 0. So 5, it will be commands of 5 plus number of users plus I. So let's say if I is 0, I equal to 0, it will be commands 5 plus number of users is 2, 7 plus I is 0. So command 7 will be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 370. Okay, there is 370. That is what we want. If I increases by 1, I is 1, then it will be 8 and it will go to 880. Okay, it's just a simple thing. We added the total number of users. If it add total number of users, it will cover this. Then we'll add one. It will cover. It will take this expense type also, and then whatever the ith value is there, it will keep on increasing based on the ith value. Okay, so the user thing that we got after along with the user, we also need to add the amount. So we'll add it like double dot pass double commands 5 plus number of users plus I. Okay, is it fine?
Anas,
Yeah.
I have a doubt related to number 5.
Number 5 what?
Can you go above in the example?
Yeah, yeah,
That exact one.
yeah,
You said that command 5 plus number plus I, right?
yeah, correct.
So for the command, I need 317 880. So in expense 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2. You can, if the number of users are more,
Yeah. Let's say the number of user is, let's say the number of user is 3. So we have 3 over here. Let's say we have u1 again, and apart from
hmm,
370 we also have, let's say, 240. So we
correct.
have 3 users and 3 exact expenses for each of them, correct?
Hmm,
So what will happen is, if we need to access this 240, for 240 I will be 0. Okay, and it will be
hmm,
5 plus number of users. Number of users is 3. Number of users is 3 over here. So 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 0. For the first one, 8 I will be 0, so it will be 8. So if we go 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you get the 240. If I go points to user 2, it will point to 9, that is 370. If I goes to user 3, it will point to 880.
hmm.
And is it fine, or is it still confusing?
I still getting confused related
Okay,
to the number
let
5.
me yeah,
Just,
let me explain it to you. Let me explain it to you. Let's say how we are using, selecting the user. For user, what we did? For user, we did commands 4 plus I. That's what we did, right? For users over here, if you see, for getting the users, what we did? Commands 4 plus I. That is correct.
hmm. Yes,
है ना?
yes.
So why we did 4 plus users? Because the first 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 actually points to the first user.
Hmm.
4 will always point to the first user. Okay.
Correct.
And I, since I is starting from 0 up till the number of users. So if it is 3 over here, the total number of users is 3. I will go from 0, then 1, then 2. That's all. So
Hmm.
if we start from 4, we will point to the first user. I is
Hmm.
0 over here. If you
Hmm.
then go point to the second user, I will be 1 over here. If you go and point to 3, user 3, I will be 2 over here. That's done.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you got this 4 plus I wala thing?
Hmm. I got
No.
that.
So now if we go for the expense, user expense, okay, that will be, I wrote 5 plus number of users. Okay, so to get here, what we need to do? First, we need to cover all these users. So that will
Yes.
obviously be number of users. Okay, but after we covered the number of users, then see, we already have 4 plus I over here. Let's say
Hmm.
we already have 4 plus I over here. 4 plus I, because these expenses will count only after we counted all of these, right? Let's
Right.
say we keep 4 plus I over here. But what do we need to do is, we need to cover all these users. Only after then will move to this expenses part, exact expenses. So what we did, we added number of users. Okay, if we add number of users, we covered all these. If we add
Correct.
4, we are over here. But now there's one expense type also over here. So
Okay.
how to handle that? We'll add 1 plus 1 over here. We'll add
Okay.
plus 1.
At the end, it will be one.
Yeah, yeah. So it will be, this will actually evaluate to,
Equivalent to 5 plus. Number of
commands.
users.
4 plus 1 will be 5, then will be number of users, and then it will be plus I.
Mm-hmm. That one is for the type of expense.
Yeah, type of expense is also there. We have to surpass that also.
Okay, cool.
Then only we'll reach over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it clear now?
Mm-hmm.
No. So this way, I mean, if it is still a bit confusing, I mean, you can just take an example and you can deduce. I mean, you'll be able to do
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yeah. So yeah. So now what we did, we just added the user, and I mean, we just in the splits list, we added the user, and we also added the amount, the exact amount that came along with it. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll simply add this expense manager. The same thing will add over here. Copy and let's paste over here. Only the expense type will change. It will change to exact. Okay, that's all. And then we break. Now we'll be writing the third case. Third case will be person. Total case will be for person. Again, the same loop will add. We'll add the same loop over here. So instead of no, so we'll be adding in the list. We'll be adding the user and we'll be adding the percentage. Again, yeah, I think again also it will be the same thing. It will be the
Mm.
same thing, है ना? But the only thing is like since it is percent, the split type will be percent. In percent split, we call it internally. We call it as percent. In the let me open this. Percent split is there. So in the percent split, we'll be adding the user and we'll be setting the percent. Okay,
Mm.
that's what we'll be doing. So I've added it over here. This will be the for the user and this will be the for the percent. After that, again the same thing we'll be doing. Expense manager dot add expense. The expense type will be percent, and then we'll break. Okay, break from
Mm.
here, and then for this particular expense case also, we'll break over here. Okay, sorry. Uh, this is this switch and below break. Broke for this expense, and let's say if default, for default we can say default system dot out dot println wrong market. Okay. So that's all we had for this driver class. Okay, so
Mm.
let's just quickly just go and just check our code in action. I mean, any confusion still there? Any doubts?
No, no, sir. All clear.
Just find it. Let's just go. I mean, I had prepared the ID. Uh, GitHub Splitwise.
You cannot run it on your system.
I can run it. I can run it. I actually updated the. I mean, I actually created the project online only.
Okay, okay.
So
Cool.
I have added the link also over here. I mean, you all can also just go
Yeah,
and
yeah.
run it. So these are the files that I created. This is the project that I created. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes. I can see.
Yeah. So inside the service, we have this driver. I created this 4 users over here. Okay. Now let's just run this. Let me just run this. Okay. This is it is running. Now let's just add the commands. Let's say first we added. Let's say first we added a show. Let's say first we do show. Okay, so since we added four users over here, Anas, Sid, Raja, and Indu. For all of them, it is showing no balance.
Hmm.
Okay, let's say now we added show. Let's say we added show for user two. It's saying no balance for user two also. Okay, just close this right again. Now let's just add first. This is add percent wala thing first. We added. Now let's just ask for show balances. So the user one has 40%, user two has 20%, user three has 20%, and user four has 20%. Let's just do show. Okay. Since it was user four, okay, for Anas, Sid, and Raja, there is no balance. The balance sheet only updated for Indu. Okay. And how it updated for Indu is like, so since the expense was done by user 4 is Indu. Okay, so all the other
Hmm.
users actually owe Indu something. Okay, so it's written Anas owes Indu 480. Why? Because Anas's share was 40%. So 40% of this is basically 480. Okay, and
Hmm.
the other one owes Indu 240. 240 Sid owes Indu 240. Raja owes Indu 240. Let's just add another expense over here. Let's add an exact expense over here. I just add expense, exact expense. This expense is being made by Anas, user one. This is made for user two and user three, Sid and Raja. So after this, Sid and Raja, along with owing to Indu, Sid and Raja will actually owe to Anas also. Okay, let me just add this. It's done. Let me just do show. Okay, so what happened after we added this exact expense? for for Anas, it's like Sid owes Anas 370. So Sid's expense was 370, for which Anas actually paid, and Raja owes Anas 880. So Raja is user three, and he owes Anas 880. And then showing balance for Sid, it is no balance. For Raja, it is no balance. For Indu, and Anas, that's the same. I mean, for Indu, it's the same, whatever it was previously. Now let's just close this. Let's just add that again, and let's just add the third expense also. So first let me add this expense. uh, Let me add this expense. Now let me add this expense. Now add this expense. Now let's add the this equal expense that is being made by user one. Okay, now let's do show. It is showing me the balance over here. It's very small. Let me just increase the size. So if you see over here, so after all these expenses, Sid owes Anas 620. Okay. How Sid
Hmm.
owes Anas 620? Because earlier Sid is actually user number two. Okay. So for user two, Anas actually paid earlier 370. Okay. And then Anas paid 250 afterwards. 250 for this equal expense. So 250 plus 370. It amounts to 300, 200, 500, 570, and 570, and then 50. 570, 620. Yeah. So it amounts to Sid owes Anas 620. Raja owes 1130. How 1130? This 880 plus 250. So 880, 880 plus 250. It is 1130. So Raja owes Anas 1130. For Sid, it is no balance. For Raja, it is no balance. For Hindu, it is the same. Hindu's expense was this percentage one, second one. So 40, 20, 20% amounts to. So yeah, so basically, since Anas already paid for Indu over here 250, Anas actually paid for user 4 also over here 250, but Indu over here paid 480 for Anas. Like Indu paid 480 and Anas paid 250. So if we subtract 480 minus 250, 230. So 230 is what Anas has to pay. Anas owes. Indu paid actually more. So Anas owes Indu 230. That's why. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Anas. Yeah.
Any doubts? Anything you want to?
Calculation wise, it is correct. The only thing I had it out like if Anas was it not like it should show in the balance of other people as well, right? If
No.
I
So
have to owe,
yeah.
if I owe someone, then in that person balance sheet, it has to show that yeah, this person owes him. Like, is it not correct?
No. So actually, I mean, see, I mean, if we go, I mean, let's check this. So if we go for this particular user, and we'll have to do a bit of what do we call it? Dry run expense
Hmm.
manager. Yeah. If we go over here in the expense manager, if we add the expense uh, for balance for paid by user, this is the splits. Paid to is fine. Balance for paid by user, and then balances for paid to user balance sheet or get paid to. Okay, so let's do one thing. Uh, let's print. Mm, where are we doing the printing part? Let's see. While we are adding expense, let's print both of them. System dot out dot println. What balance sheet for balance sheet for paid paid by user. Okay, will be balances for paid by user. Similarly, balance sheet for paid to user. Paid to user. Okay, that's all. Let's just add this in the code and let's just run it. This is an expense manager. Expense manager. We've added this. Let's go to driver. Run it again. Now let's just add some expense. Uh, let's just add this one equal one. Where is the command? Okay, let's just add over there. Okay, so what it printed. So user one uh, paid 1,000 for four of the four users. User one, two, three, and four. For obviously for user one, it won't be added because he paid for himself. He doesn't owe anyone anything, and I mean he spent for himself. Okay, so that
Hmm.
amount doesn't needs to be split.
Hmm.
So after that, balance sheet for paid to user. User one is again zero. I mean it doesn't need to be added. Balance sheet for paid by user. User one, it is zero still. For U2, it is 250. Okay,
Hmm. Okay.
this is for paid by user. Paid by user is user one.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, and this is for paid to user. Paid to user is U2. So for U2, U1 is minus 250. Okay,
Okay. Hmm. Understood.
this for U2. Now again, this is for user one. User three got added, and this is for user three. For user three, U1 got added.
Correct.
Okay, and this is for user one
Hmm.
again. It added user one, two,
Again,
three,
another one.
and then this is for user 4. For for user 1 it owes 250 minus 250. It is a minus. Okay.
Hmm. Correct.
Yeah.
Here
So
it
this
is
is,
proper.
yeah, here it is proper.
Okay.
Now let's just go and check.
Yeah.
This is fine. Now if we show balance, let's say we do show balances. We'll be doing this. It will show balance for
Hmm.
user map dot get all balances dot get key dot get name. Let's say it comes user 1. For user 1 it will again go inside. For user 1 this will be the map. This will be the map. If it goes and says print balance all balances dot get key, let's we do this. We just add the command over here. Let's say we do show user 1. It is showing me Sid owes Anas
Hmm.
250, Raja owes Anas 250, and Indu owes Anas 250. Okay. So how did
Correct.
it work?
Correct.
How did it work? If you go inside this show balance, it actually took the user and it got the balance sheet of the user, and then it is checking if the value is not equals to 0. Okay, if the value of the user balance is not equal to 0, then it will print actually. So if you see for user 1 is also added over here. Okay, and it is 0. Since it is 0 it is being ignored. Okay,
Okay. Hmm.
since it is user 1 and that is the value is 0 over there, it is being ignored. That
Hmm.
is being ignored. And in the print balance we are passing the user 1 over here, one by one. User 2, user 3, and user 4 will be passed, and whatever the value is there, that will be passed. Okay. But
Okay.
I know what you are pointing to. If we just go and click show, but show, it is showing balances for user Anas. For
Hmm.
user Anas, it is showing Sid owes Anas 250, Raja owes Anas 250, and Indu owes Anas 250. That is fine. For here,
Yes.
showing balances for user, this user 2. Let's say we do show user 2. Show user 2. Okay, so it is saying Sid owes Anas
Ha.
250. Okay, that is
Now,
what
now it is showing.
you mean, right? So
Yes, yes, this is what I heard.
Sid owes Anas 250. Okay, let's say if we go over here and show balances, it is showing if you're doing individual, it is showing
It
in
is
the,
showing properly.
yeah, for show balances everyone it is not showing. That's what you're concerned, right?
Yes, yes, correct, correct.
So if we go over here, if you see, let's say the user 2 comes over here. User 2 comes over here, and for the user 2 we have this is for user 2. Sorry, pay to user
Anas,
this. Yeah,
can we just want to let you know that we have created this for single user, right? Can we not call it for all the user in the for loop the same method?
which method? This
This
one.
show by user ID.
Oh, show by user ID. Okay, okay, yeah, we can do that
Huh.
as well. Yeah, we can do
In
that
the
as well.
for loop itself, this will be our
That will be easy.
resolve our region. That would be
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, I got it.
Just passing the
Let's just see. Let's just first see, why it is not printing that particular thing.
correct, 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 right, right.
Let me see that as well. So it says show balances for user Sid, and it is showing no saying no balances. So let's say if it comes over here, it got the user second user showing balance for user 2. It got all balances dot get key dot get name. It's showing this part correct. Now map entry user balance all balances dot get value dot entry set. If
Right.
user balance dot get value is greater than 0, okay, that's why it is not showing. We have it
Okay,
like
okay.
if it is greater than 0. So instead of
Okay,
instead of this, we can do not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, if you do this, what will happen? If the value will be 0, it won't print. Otherwise, if it is negative or positive, it will
it
print.
will print.
Okay.
But that we have taken care in print balance, right? If it is negative, it will show in other way around.
Yeah, yeah. That we have taken care. That's not in concern.
Yes,
Print balance will
yes,
basically take care of that.
yes.
It's just that if the balance is not 0, then it will be printing definitely.
Right,
We
right.
just we just don't want to print when the balance is equal to 0.
Correct.
Okay. So if we do it over here, if we come over here in the expense manager, and show balances. Show balances. We do it like not equal to 0.
Correct.
Okay, and then we run this again.
Rerun it.
I saved. We run this again. Remove it. Now let's just add the this equal expense. We added the expense. The balance sheet is same. Now let's just do show. Now it's showing for everyone.
Ah,
Okay. Sid
yes,
owes
yes, yes.
Anas
Correct.
250. Okay, and now for user said it is saying Sid owes Anas 250. Now this is correct, right? Now this is
Yes,
as
yes.
per what you were expecting.
Yeah, right, correct.
So there was just this one thing. So I think now it
Yeah,
is correct.
yes, yes. Because whenever if I click on like I want money from him, it has to be shown in his
Yeah, so
balance sheet also that needs to be paid too.
no, that needs to be yeah, correct, correct,
Yes,
correct.
yes.
So I think yeah, this is now correct, and I'll just update this code as per it. And I mean, even if you want to play around or you want to explore this, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
experiment,
definitely.
you can actually go to this GitHub repository, and I mean, in the README, I have shared the link.
Hmm.
But
Right,
you
right.
can
I have actually forked the repository.
okay,
I will let you know if I have some changes or if I want to contribute anything. I will just raise a pull request for you.
yeah, you can definitely raise it. You can definitely raise it. That's fine. You can just create your own branch and you can just push it on that branch.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that was what about the Splitwise application. I think that's done. And apart from this, I mean, what else? Any doubt regarding this? Anything on?
No, no, yes, it is pretty much clear. Just one more thing. Can we go through our optional requirement that how we can implement it? Not just code. We just don't. We will not dive into it, but
Okay.
just a higher overall view. Like, yeah, this can be done from this
Yeah.
class and all.
Yeah. So for this part, a way to add an expense name while adding the expense can also add notes, images, etc. So this is like what I have done is like I have considered this as an entity, and we have actually added another class called expense metadata, another model called expense metadata. Okay,
Hmm.
there are three variables for this class: name, image, URL, and the notes. So let's say while we are adding this expense. Okay, so while we are adding this expense, this is the part where we are adding the expense. Okay, and this is how we are sharing the expense. Okay, I mean, this is how we are inputting. We are passing input for the expense. Let's
Correct.
say after all of this, let's say we added some notes over here. And the note says something, some data about the expense. Okay. Then whatever comes after this can be considered as an metadata. Obviously, we cannot pass. I mean, we can only pass note from the command line, or we can pass the what do we say the URL link in the in the command line argument, and from the I mean we can have a program in such a way that the program will actually take that link URL and will fetch whatever image or whatever data is there in that URL. Okay, we can do like that. But I mean, for keeping it simple, we can just add notes, image, URL, and name. So we can basically have some tag for this, like this expense was related to let's say grocery expenses was there. So we can just mark it. And while we are adding this metadata over here, we can create a metadata. Okay, new metadata, metadata, and what do we have in metadata? We have name,
Size
image,
minus one.
sorry,
Command size minus one.
yeah, command size -1. So we can have commands, commands, uh, command commands dot length -1. We can do this, and this will basically take this. Where it gone? The grocery part will
Hmm.
take. Will
Correct.
take the time. And so along with the name, we have image, URL, and notes. So we can just skip image, URL, and notes over here.
Hmm.
We
Right.
can skip the image URL. We can keep it as, let's say, null or blank. and the notes also we can keep it as blank. This is how we can pass the metadata. This was one of the requirements. Okay.
Hmm.
Next was option to split by share. If you want to split by share, what we'll do is we'll just simply come over here. We have this split, we have this percent split. Okay. We'll just create another class that will extend this split, like share split, public class share split extends split, and then we can add these shares, double shares, or I mean int shares, that will also work. We'll create the constructor and we'll create this data setup. That's all. And in our logic, we can actually use that directly. Okay.
Hmm.
Along with the expense type equal exact and percent, we'll have to add a logic for share case share also. Okay.
Hmm.
That's for the second option. The third one is a way to show the passbook for a user. The entries should show all the transactions a user was part of. You can print in any format. I mean, this is like we just have to modify the display part that we have created. The show balances. I mean, we can I mean create it in, and we can basically add formatting to it, like we have it in a passbook. We can have the I mean, it can actually print all the transactions in a chronological order. We can do like that also.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is regarding that. I mean, it's just like a modification of the show balances function. That's all. And then we have this. There can be an option to simplify expenses. This is something which is a bit. I mean, we'll have to add certain logics for it. So this basically says
Hmm.
that if user one owes 250 to user two and user two owes 200 to user three, then user one can directly pay 200 to user three and user one will pay 50 to user two. Okay. So user one owes 250 to user two. Okay, and he also and user 2 owes 200 to user 3. That means indirectly user 1 is paying 200 to user 3 and is paying 50 only to user 2.
User to right.
So that has to be simplified and added like this. So for this simplification part, I think we'll have to go through all uh, the balance sheet that we had created. We'll have to do certain calculations over there. I mean, obviously we can do that. I mean, it's just that like it will require us to add some algorithms over there. We'll have to uh, create an algorithm and add it over there. But yeah, this is a bit complex. Yeah, but this can be achieved as well. This is like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
This is
just to have one more add one more functionality in the expense manager uh, class, along which we have the, like add expenses, add user. We'll add like simplify expenses, public void simplify expenses. Okay, we'll just do it over here.
this
Okay,
this will be called on every expense command, right?
we can add
So that it can
yeah,
simplify.
we can add it in every add expense command, or we can what we can do is like we can add a function. We can add an option for the user also. We can give an option for the user also if you want to simplify the expenses. But yeah, ideally internally, I mean it should like, so I mean over it depends, like over here it's written that there can be an option to simplify expenses. I mean
Hmm.
with this I understand that, I
Correct.
mean there can be a
Correct.
command,
Correct.
but
Yeah.
internally
Yeah.
I mean as I said, what we can do is like just for our purpose over here, add the expense and then over here just call this simplify expense over here, this dot
Right. Right.
simplify expenses. That's all. It will actually simplify the expenses. Okay, so that's all
Yes.
regarding. So I mean as a what we can, as an activity or as a homework or whatever we
Assignment.
can, yeah, assignment, we can just add this expense part. We can add this simplify expense part. We
Simplify
can add
expense.
splits part. uh, I mean, this metadata part is like I have already added. That's fine. And passbook, I mean, we can just ignore it. I mean, it's not a very big requirement, but I mean, it's just a simple modification of the show balances function. That's all. So we can do this. Like, we can add the split part, and we can add this functionality to simplify the expenses. These two we can take it as an assignment.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's about this splitwise thing. Uh, I think. I mean, We took three classes, but yeah, I mean, I think it's quite clear now. I think at least if this problem comes in the interview, I think we'll be pretty much able to solve it very easily. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
And
definitely.
so for our next sessions, I was going through this problem, movie ticket booking application, and again, this is another problem that is like very common in interviews.
This
Okay.
is our book my show.
Yeah, book my show. You can say book my show or any other ticket booking application. You can say
Mm-hmm.
basically it's a book my show only, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll just go through it. I mean, I've just added this in the low level design another page. I just added
Mm-hmm.
it in Notion so that I mean we can before our next class we can just uh, go through all the requirements over here, and when we sit together, uh, we'll just discuss all these requirements very quickly, and we'll just move ahead to creating the entities.
Are we going to have a UML diagram for this?
I am thinking of having UML diagram also because in this splitwise, I mean, the code that we had created that is actually good. I mean, it's a working code, and whatever we discussed, it's good. We created entities, and we then created the services. We created the driver class, and then we actually run our code. All that is good, but only if we add the UML diagram to it, I mean, it will be completely perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
we there won't be any room scope for interviewer to point out anything. So we'll for this one we'll also we'll prepare a UML diagram also, and we'll just discuss that also.
Correct, correct. And
Okay.
one more thing. So this seems to be pretty good in visualizing the problem set in the Notion, right?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
we not export this thing in GitHub ka README? Is it possible, or is it how it will be?
Which thing? Which thing? Which thing?
This thing, like you can see it in Notion, you can view your problem set in point by point, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this
I
is
mean,
this
I'm
is
not
a
sure.
great way to understand a problem. But if you see the README, it is like
Read me like I think we have to. Okay, shall I add the
Notion ka
the
link.
yeah? I mean, Notion ka link I can share it over here. Yeah, I can actually share the Notion link. That's that's also
That
something
would
which I
be
can do.
great.
I mean, I can add
Mm.
Notion link, and if you click over here, it will redirect us to the Notion link. We can view it over here. You can do
Because
that.
the way Notion displays this thing, it is not possible in README, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is not. Yeah, it is not possible properly in
Mhm.
reading. Yeah.
That's why.
So
Okay, okay.
you want, I mean, for the splitwise thing we you want like I mean we should share this problem statement over here. Is that what
Mhm.
you mean?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Just share that problem. Keep it this. This introduction is also not bad, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that for the further detailing of the problem statement, you can
Problem
go to
statement.
this link and understand it.
No. So this part is like I mean obviously I mean we'll have to add the problem statement because this is like I just
Uh-huh.
added instruction to run. I mean
Run
how
the
to like
application. Okay, okay,
that's
okay, okay.
if you want to I mean from where I mean you will take out the you'll pass the parameters, you'll pass the command line
Mm-hmm.
arguments from where you'll do that. So I just added a few sample commands so that I mean people can get familiar, and if you want to add your own set of commands, you can do that as well. This is a list of sample commands. So I'll
Correct.
just add the problem statement also over here. I'll just pass
Mm.
the Notion link over here.
Just add it, and if I get some things that we can view it in the GitHub ka README also, I will let you know, or I will do
Okay,
it for
cool.
myself only. I will
Yeah,
just submit.
yeah, you can push also. Yeah, you can push from your end as well. Okay. Yeah. So next, in our next session, we'll just pick up this problem, movie ticket booking application. We'll try to cover UML diagram, and the other part is entities. Along with the entities, we'll see if we can write a few services, create a few services along with that. Okay. Okay. So let's drop for today, and let's join next week.
Next week. Yeah, that would be a great idea. Mm, fine.
Okay.
Okay, Anas.
Okay then. Yeah.
Nothing
Sure.
else. Thank
Sorry.
you, Anas.
Thanks. Thanks,
Oh,
Aslam. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.